Hey guys, so it is Stephanie here with the From My Desk series, which is more of like super relaxed, chill, hanging out, kind of me just chatting about whatever comes to the front of my mind usually, which is great because you never know where I'm going to end up. But today I actually have a topic because I did a video last month, cut it for a friend of mine whose team was struggling with starting the sales conversation, and the more we talked, the more we realized it was actually more about not wanting to be salespeople and, overcoming sales resistance. So I cut this cool video about it, and then I had some awesome conversation back and forth with people, and someone was commenting, hey, for me, it's not about the whole resisting sales, it's about the fear of rejection. And I'm just gonna read what she said because she put it so much better than I can. She said, hey, I'm busy like others. I find it annoying when telemarketers call just to take up unnecessary time of mine. So when it's my turn to put myself and my business out there, I struggle with the confidence it takes. You're right. I know what to say and what I have to offer, but the people pleaser inside of me hates to be that person. And believe it or not, I can completely understand, because when I started in sales, I came from the same place. I mean, you got to think back to what I was doing, right? I had a phone book and I was calling, and 4 out of 5 of the people I would call would hang up. Just straight up, hey, this is Stephanie with blank and blank company. Click. Great. Okay. So I really struggled with this idea because I've seen firsthand, right? You get that call from that telemarketer and you would think we leave it at the door, but it really takes another 5 or 10 minutes to, I can't believe they called me. I can't believe they're wasting my time. Blah, 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 blah. And so I know that, when you get those calls, it could really mess with your day. And so I didn't want to be that person. One, I hated the fact that no one would even talk to me. So I'd constantly get, click, I'm not interested, click, click, click. And so that was hard, but it was also this side of, I don't want to be upsetting these other people. And when I sat down and I started to kind of say, okay, what is it that makes this, either not happen or happen? And how come I don't care about that anymore? For me, it came down to 3 things. And the first one is just about being so completely, utterly sold out on what you are doing that you really don't care. You believe in what you are doing so much that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter whatever else is going on. Who cares? You are so sold out on it. When I first started doing sales training, one of the events that I was at, one of the speakers said, you have got to be so sold out on what you are doing that someone could offer you millions of dollars to stop and you wouldn't. And when you reach that point of so sold out, you believe in what you're doing so much. First of all, people don't tend to get insulted when you call and you are so sold out on what you're doing. We tend to pick up on the insult when someone's doing something that we don't think they believe in, and we tend to pick up on that and then we feed the insult back. But when you get someone who is so excited and so sold out on what they're doing, it's hard to get upset with them. But let's be honest, not everybody has that opportunity, because some people out there are just working a job just to work it, to make ends meet. So what do you do if you don't have the ability to be completely sold out for what you're doing? So I've got 2 more little tips for you guys. The second tip that I give out is, 1, to come from a place of value add. No one minds receiving something for free. No one minds receiving valuable information or a smile or something nice. No one gets mad at you if you're truly coming at this from a, hey, let me add value to your life. And value doesn't have to be actual monetary value. That's the cool thing, right? I'll get on the phone with anybody and everybody. I believe I know enough that I can add enough really valuable information to the conversation that it's going to be worth their time to talk to me. But more than that, I have this insane focus. And I didn't even notice it till recently, but I have this absolute insane focus. When I talk to someone on the phone, I am going to make you smile. I don't care what I have to do, but at some point, somehow, I am going to get my joy and my excitement is going to be so infectious, it is going to make you smile. Because it's hard to be grumpy at someone when they're smiling, right? Or it's hard to be grumpy at someone when you're smiling. So I just go for this completely excited and find some way to make them smile. I crack jokes. I ask them how they're doing. And then I ask them, no, really, how are you really doing? Like, I go all out trying to get them to smile because I know that smiles are valuable and people care about having someone who cares genuinely about them. And if you can get to the point where when you get on the phone with someone, you genuinely care about them, you genuinely care about getting them to smile and enjoy themselves, you will start to enjoy the conversations that you have over the phone as well. And now it's not so much about that rejection. You get on the phone with someone, you're like, hey, this is Stephanie. And they're like, hello? You're like, this is Stephanie with Scheller Enterprises. I was calling to chat with you, but it sounds like you're having a rough day. What can I do to make you smile today? And the guy's like, it's just been a wild day. And you're like, I'm really sorry about that. Look, you deserve a minute. You should take a minute. Let's get off the phone. I'll call you back tomorrow, but let's get off the phone. You need to take a minute and just smile. Be happy because everyone deserves the chance to smile and be happy. And the guy goes, okay, what were you calling about again real quick? And it's so hard to be mad at someone when they're putting your own needs and your interests above theirs. It's hard to get mad at someone when they care more about you than they care about themselves. So come at it from that perspective. And the third one, let's be honest, the third one we already know. It's nothing new. It's that their perspective of you has no bearing on your actual value. So this fear of rejection thing usually stems from, well, I'm afraid that they're not going to like me and then I'm not going to be worth as much. Sometimes it's a subconscious level. We don't like people to reject us because we feel like it impacts our value. We feel like we're less than something because that person didn't like us. But let me be totally honest with you. Sometimes you just get someone who's had a really, really bad day. That happens. I had some lady the other day, she called. That didn't help that, she lied a couple times and there was other stuff going on. But man, she just caught me. It was a bad day when she finally did get a hold of me. And if she caught me on a different day, probably wouldn't have been so aggressive. But, you catch someone on the wrong day. And sometimes you are going to get that person. But understand, and you've got to remind yourself, and sometimes it's like sitting there like in the corner going, so their opinion of me does not impact my value. Their opinion of me does not impact my value. And that's fine. If you have to sit there and rock yourself and convince yourself of that, that is fine. But be so full, so sure of where you're coming from that understand that it doesn't matter what they have to say about you. Look, if you come at this from a place of value, you are not intruding on their day. You're making their day brighter. But if you do happen to have a bad encounter with somebody, understand that their perspective has no bearing on your actual worth. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope this gives you some ideas for getting past that fear of rejection and getting out there and making those calls for yourself. Because let's be honest, the sales process can't get started until you do.